that way you got that in there and that.
Perfect.
And I put, oh, there we go. I'm live.
You can get your own notice.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting ready to go live. You guys are going to be talking about how to monetize your interviews. You know, I've done a lot of interviews, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can make money conducting those interviews. So get ready. Okay. Yeah, I'm always ready.
All right.
I'm so right-handed, I can't even do the
I'm
finger on my leg.
really excited about our next speaker. I've had the privilege of getting to know a lot of speakers behind the scenes and getting to see what they're like behind the curtain or behind the microphone. Oh, thank you. Or actually, not behind the microphone, when they're not behind a microphone, getting to see what they're like. And it is a little disappointing sometimes when you meet a speaker that you go, wow, they're so amazing, they have this amazing message. Like Veronica, great job, by the way, Veronica, thank you. But then you see them off stage, and you see them when they're just hanging out casually with their friends, and you hear what they talk about. It's like, holy crap, that's not the same person I just saw on stage. Our next speaker is the exact opposite of what I just said. I've actually known her personally since I've been in San Diego, and I saw her off stage before I was blessed to see her on it. And she's just as sweet and amazing off camera, and off, because she's on camera a lot. She has more lives than I do. but off, like just hanging out with her friends and just in the community, like she's the real deal. And it means, this is so cool for me to get to introduce you now for a second time. But Linda has a book called The Year of Fears, the 7 most important lessons I learned that will save you time and money. And the forward is by the one and only Mr. Greg, or Dr. Greg S. Reid. I'm so excited for you and everything you've done and everything you're doing and everything you're going to do in this world. It is a real pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, for me to introduce to you the one, the only, Linda Sunshine West.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah, that's me, Linda West. Hey, you guys, I'm so glad to be here at the Blog Summit today, and I'm going to be doing a PowerPoint presentation. Is that okay with you guys? I'm going to share with you how you can make money conducting interviews. And I've never done it with a clicker, a mouse, so wish me luck on here. So let's see where we're going. My name is Linda West, Linda Sunshine West. I'll share with you first how I got the name Sunshine. I used to be called Linda Giving to Charity West. I know Nadira has known me since then, because I've given a lot of money to charity. I've raised over a couple $100,000 myself for charity, and I just love giving back. That's one of my favorite things to do. Well, I had a couple of friends along the way that would just say, you're just a ball of sunshine, or they just started calling me Sunshine. I was like, I think I'll just change my Facebook name to Linda Sunshine West. So I did, and it was really weird because when I hit save, I felt weird. I felt like here I was proclaiming to the world that I am Sunshine, the name that these other people were calling me. And it was really cool though, because as scared as I was to hit save in that very moment, that it's actually become kind of like my trademark is Sunshine. And I'm happy almost all the time, and so it actually kind of fits for me. So as you see, I'm very grateful. I'm very easily excited. My voice will reflect the excitement that I have for being here today and being able to share with you how I've been able to monetize interviews. And as Joshua stated, I've done a lot of live videos, and I'll share that in just a moment too. So how many of you here want to be known as the authority in your space? Raise your hand. Yeah, isn't that cool? Like when people are like, yes, that's the person you need to go to. I know exactly who to reach out to. And I actually had that kind of thing happen to me yesterday. Someone was like, I need to do Facebook ads. Who do I reach out to? And in my head, I knew only one person. Like that was all they do. So I referred that person. So how many of you also want to be recognized as the thought leader in your industry? It's kind of like the same thing, right? And then how many of you want to learn how to use your time effectively so that you can make more money? Because time never turns back. Time is the only expense that we spend that we never ever get back. And I remember when my mother was her last 3 years of life, my husband and I moved in to take care of her. She was very ill, And so we became her caretakers. And I remember her saying to me one day, I wish I had done all these different things. And she started listing all the things she had done in her life. And she was coming to the end of it. And I realized in that very moment that I'm going to make sure that when I get to the end of my life, I can say, I did everything I wanted to do. No matter how small it is, no matter how big it is. Maybe my dreams aren't as big as some other people, but they're still my dreams. So I'm making sure that I'm living my life on a daily basis so that the time that I'm spending is spent wisely. So I just encourage you to do the same thing. So that's not what we're going to be talking about today, but I just wanted to share that really quickly. And then how many of you want to make money while you're having fun? Woo woo! I love it. Awesome. Okay, so today you're going to learn the 5 biggest mistakes that interviewers make. You're going to learn the 9 steps to conducting interviews that will convert into cash. And then you're going to learn how to use your time more effectively. Are you guys ready to do that today? Let's hear it. Some noise. Thank you. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. You know, energy, right? We're all filled with energy. That's what we are. Human beings are filled with energy. So the more energy you give to me, the more energy I can give to you. I'm already giving a lot of energy. I can already feel it. So I'd love to have some of that energy back. So if you feel something that's like, that's awesome, let me hear it, because that helps me to know that I'm delivering something that's of value to you guys. So I want to thank you guys for being here today. Okay, so if you have your phone on, if you could please turn it off, that would be good. Or just take pictures of me. Either way is great. Okay, and then today I'm going to give you a couple tips about interviewing. But first, before we go on, how many of you have ever conducted an interview, like a live interview on your Facebook Live? Okay. And how many of you would like to conduct interviews? I got a really tough audience to crack here. Okay, no. Okay, so I'm going to convince you today why it's a good idea to conduct interviews. Is that okay? Okay. How many of you have ever done a Facebook Live video? Ooh, this is getting even tougher. This is awesome. I'm going to share with you why that's good to do as well, okay? So, first of all, you don't need any experience. We see people, like Oprah, we see Ellen. They didn't start off, being that great. They had to start somewhere. So you don't need experience to start, just like anything in life. We don't need experience to start. We need to start to get experience. That's the way it works. I just made that up. I hope that's right or downer. Okay, you can start conducting interviews today. Actually, in this room, I just spoke last Saturday at an event, and I had everybody break out their phone, do a Facebook Live, and then it was really interesting because I saw it was on one table there. And I was like, what are they doing over there? Oh my God, they're actually interviewing each other. So they were all doing a Facebook Live and they were all interviewing each other. So it was pretty cool because they had never done a Facebook Live and they had never conducted an interview. Now they had done a Facebook Live and they conducted an interview. So I'm not sure what they're doing this week, but they at least started. So you can also make irresistible offers that turn into cash by conducting interviews, as well as it can be more effective if you have no live viewers. So sometimes people are like, well, there was nobody watching, and so I just stopped it. Well, here's the thing. It's like 95% of your viewers are going to be replay viewers. So your videos should always be to the replay people, not to the live people. However, if you have people that are watching you on your live video, I highly recommend communicating with them, engaging with them, because you want to keep them on, because the longer they're on, the longer you see that that's your audience. That means they want to hear what you have to say. They're telling you, I want more. That's why I'm still here. Now, if they're dropping off like flies, you might say, I think I'm done with this one. I think I've like overstayed my welcome, and then just, kind of end it. Like today, I was like, oh, I lost service, bye. Just like that happened to me today. That happens sometimes. Now, why should you conduct interviews? One of the things that conducting interviews does is it puts you in somebody else's audience. So how many of you here have a business of some sort, whether it's products or services? Please raise your hand so I can see. So everybody else does not have a product or service. Please help me out a little bit.
All right.
Well, there we go. Thank you. Yeah. It's just so I know he's here, because otherwise I can just cut this short and be done. I don't want to waste your guys' time, because time is precious. That's the only thing, the only commodity we can never get back. So why do you want to be in somebody else's audience? So I'll share a couple examples as we get moving on here. Is that videos? First of all, doing video is fun. If you're scared, I get it. I was there. My very, very first video, There's this young man I know, his name is Ryan, and he was born with severe cerebral palsy. He's never been able to even crawl. His hands are shaped like this, like he can't, like he can't move his hands. He has severe cerebral palsy. And one day Ryan asked me if I would do a video. So terrified as I was like, yeah, I'll do a video. And so I broke out my camera, because I didn't even know my phone had a camera on it. Broke out my camera, I did a video. I was like, hey Ryan, it's Linda, here's your video. Downloaded it to my computer, uploaded it to Facebook, watched it spin around, watching it upload, and then he watched the video. And literally, like, my voice was shaking, I was trembling, it was just crazy how scared I was. And then he got onto Facebook, he did like a Facebook message with me. And you have to understand, for Ryan to say this one phrase took him 5 minutes. Because the way his cognitive skills work is that if he starts a sentence and he can't figure out the next word, he has to start a sentence over again. So his sentences will start over and over and over until he can get a whole entire sentence out. So his sentence in 5 minutes, and I have a lot of patience, his sentence was, Wenda, I really like your video. Will you do one for me every day? And I was like, yes. Because when Ryan asked me to do something, I always say yes, except the one time he asked me to buy him a surround sound system. I had to draw the line somewhere. So I started doing videos every single day, still terrified. I was terrified for about 6 months. It took me about 6 months to realize the power of doing videos. Well, Ryan granted me that gift of learning how amazing doing videos is. So I actually thank him now for the confidence I've gained, for being able to stand up here today. I would not have been doing this 4 years ago before I did those videos. Speaking in front of a crowd, Ryan gave me that gift just by asking me to do a video every day. Since then, it's been a little over 4 years, and I've done close to 4,000 videos. 2,700 of those are live videos. I love it. I could literally just walk around with paparazzi following me all day long, and I'd be happy. And that's probably why I'm here at the Vlog Summit. I didn't do the blog summit because I don't blog, I vlog, But it's free, it's fun, and it's fast. Doing live videos is so awesome. You have an opportunity to tap into somebody else's audience. So I'll give an example. I was on Joshua's show, and he was doing a show. He had watchers, and as those watchers were watching and listening to me on his show, I started getting friend requests. I started getting people liking my page because I was in his audience. So imagine yourself walking into a room of people, strangers, and walking out with friends. And that's one thing that being interviewed can do, as well as interviewing other people. So when I have somebody on my show, they advertise it out to their audience. So maybe sometimes I get 2 followers, maybe sometimes I get 40 or 50 followers, but they're all people I didn't know before. So if I didn't conduct the interview, that wouldn't happen. And I have no idea where we are in our slides, so I'm just gonna kind of wing it. How much time do I have? Okay, he's not there, good. So here's the thing is, people are more likely to watch your videos afterwards, right? So 144% of people will purchase off of videos, This is why it's really important. If you have a business, you need to be doing videos. By 2019, 90% of online marketing will be by video. Mark Zuckerberg, he's really big on live videos. Gary Vee, the medium with the most consumer attention right now is video. It creates the ultimate marketing machine. So it's really important to be on video. This was one of my clients. She said she was inspired to create her own Facebook Live show, by working with me. And then what ended up happening is she gained a larger following just by doing videos. So if this is not stressing enough, this is a gentleman I interviewed on my show one time, 30 minutes on my show. He so far at this point, this was about 4 months ago, he had made $83,000 off of that one video that I interviewed him. Did I make money off of that? Yes, I did. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. So I'm going to share with you how I went from not knowing anything to doing what I'm doing now, which is I absolutely love. I'm very nosy. And I ask a lot of questions. And I was always told, You're so nosy, you ask too many questions. People make money asking questions, so dang it, I'm gonna ask away, you know? I've become really good at it, and I love it. I just absolutely love it. So this is me in the yellow hair on the left. That's not me up there. But I used to work for a judge in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Up until November of 2014, I've had 49 jobs. Talk about a person who doesn't have clarity. Not knowing where their vision is. Like, I didn't have a vision. No one ever sat down and said, you need to figure out where you're going. I was literally going through my life blind. Like, just trying to make more money. All I was doing, every job was a step up. I never got fired, but every job was more money, more money, more money. That was my vision, just making more money. Until finally I got this job here. This was in my industry. I was a legal secretary for 20 years of my 36 career work of 49 jobs. And I worked for a judge in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal. Well, in my position, that was the #1 job that you could have in the entire United States without moving to Washington, D.C. I hated it. Sorry, Facebook Live, but I really did. I hated it. Okay, so every day I drove to what I love to call my own personal prison, because I built this prison around me. And I locked the key. You know, I just like threw away the key. Until one day I woke up and I said, as I was driving to work, I hate this, time is precious, and I'm not doing this for one more day. Well, I did it for 2 more weeks, because I gave a notice. I gave a proper notice. But I turned in my notice that day. Then when I came home, I told my husband, guess what? I turned in my notice at work. And he's like, okay, 50th job, big deal. You know, we've had jobs before. And I said, Ann, we're gonna sell our house, and we're gonna follow my passion and my dream, which is to help people. And he's like, I get the job thing, but the house thing, we're not selling the house. When I hear something I didn't share yet is that as I was driving to work that day, it was as if God had actually told me, you are on the wrong path. You haven't been paying attention. It's time for you to start paying attention. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna leave your job and you're gonna help people. But I didn't know what that meant. What did help people mean? So when my husband said, we're not selling the house, I said, we had been together for 27 years by this time, by the way. I said, you don't understand. When God tells you to do something, you just do it and you don't question. And no human body will get in my way. Yes, I actually did say that. And he said, I get it, you're serious. So we sold our house. We sold our house in a week. We moved out. We bought a 28-foot trailer. We became park hosts working for the County of San Diego, free living in a park, so that I could follow my dream and my passion of helping people. But at that time, I still didn't have any clarity. It took me 4 years to gain clarity. I finally have it. But I was on that path to discover that clarity, which I didn't know what it was going to be. But I kept trying thing after thing after thing, and I just kept trying. Just like, Thomas Edison said, I didn't find 10,000, I didn't make 10,000 mistakes. I found 10,000 ways not to do it. So he didn't have failures. I didn't have any failures. What I had were learning lessons. And every single lesson I did led me up until this very moment, which will lead me up into my very moment next week, which I don't know exactly where that will be. I don't have that much clarity. But I know it's going to be amazing, whatever it is, because I'm living my passion, my dream, which is helping people. And this is one of the ways I do it, is by conducting interviews, because I get to get people out there and share what they are and the amazingness that they are. That's me leaping out of the courthouse. Okay, and then I was like, what next? I don't know. All I know is that I want to help people. So I went on a journey, and I would share that later. You know, when I have more time, I can share that journey, because it really, I know Nadira's been around for most of it, watching me just like change and change and change. And it's been an incredible journey, some of the things, and some of the money I've spent. I've invested well over $150,000, almost our entire house that we sold, on self-development, so that I could be here right now. It's been an amazing journey. I would never change anything of it. I'd rather actually have had more income come in, but you know, that's not what happened. So, okay, so I hired a coach. Boom, there she is, my life coach. She's a little bit thinner than that. But I hired a coach, and she helped me go from shy girl to fly girl. That's what I call myself right this very moment, fly girl. Yeah, that's because conducting these interviews does a lot for you. Anybody know who this woman is? Ellen DeGeneres. One of my absolute favorites. I've been watching Ellen for years. Like, I remember her actually in San Diego. She came and did one of her stand-ups, and I knew her mother-in-law because I worked with her mother-in-law. So we got free tickets, and we were there watching Ellen. So I've been following her for a long time, and I'm like, you know what? I can totally do this. I interview people. I can sing. Da, 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 da. I can interview people, and I can give away free shit. I can totally be Ellen DeGeneres. And so I put that out there. And I was like, I'm going to interview people. My first interview. I was at a vendor event, a fundraising event, and I had a booth, and I don't even know what my booth name was because like, I don't know what stage I was in my transformational journey at that point. But I had a booth, literally it was kind of like this, like, there was nothing on it. And I was like, everybody's got like really nice tables. They got stuff on it. They have stuff for sale. They have flowers. And my booth looks really crappy. All I have is some like lemon drops on it or something. But literally, that's all I had. I said, you know what? I'm going to take my phone around and I'm going to do what I've seen some of those people. They have that selfie stick thing. You know, I have it. It's in my purse. I'm going to take it around and I'm going to interview people. Because that way I can introduce myself to people, and I'm so nervous introducing myself to people. I still am, but I do it. And I was like, this was a way that I could get myself out there and I could share them with my audience. I'll try it. So I took my phone out and I interviewed, I think it was about 17 vendors that day, and I was doing live. And people were commenting, asking questions. Well, how much do they charge for that candle or whatever, you know? And I was like, hey, I don't know, Susie, how much do you guys charge for this candle? Like, I'm selling stuff on my live video for other people. And I had so much fun. I met a lot of great people. I got a lot of business cards, and it was non-threatening. Because guess what? I was giving to them. I wasn't taking anything. I was giving. And what happened? Okay, well then this happened. So I started getting interviewed on shows. I interviewed a gentleman named Henny Morales. He's an actor, he's a director of film. I was on the red carpet at the City Gala, which is the Academy Awards after party. Joshua was there too, he's on the red carpet. We're interviewing stars like Frank Shankwitz, the founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And then some other things started happening. Les Brown. I had an opportunity to sit with Les Brown for 2 hours through this journey that I've been on. And Les actually handed me my signature speech, which is not this speech today, but Les Brown handed me my signature speech. I had lunch with Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. I had lunch with him because of a happenstance, something that happened, and I took an opportunity. And I said, you know what, Jack, I'm taking you to lunch. And he said, okay, and we went to lunch. It was really as simple as that. But none of this would have happened had I not started this journey. Because I was on that red carpet because I asked, can I be on the red carpet? And they came back with the answer, yes. It wasn't yes and or yes but, it was just yes. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna be on the red carpet. Maybe I should have a cameraman. Because all I have is my cell phone, you know? So I've interviewed some amazing people, you know, founder of Boots, the king of outsourcing, you know, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Matt and Caleb Maddox. And these interviews, what these do, these are the people who are like authority in their space. So when I interview someone like that, what does that do? That might not make me money today, but that sets me up for making money later because their audience sees me interviewing them. And they're like, she knows Jack Canfield? I actually get people sending me private messages all the time. Can you get Jack Canfield to speak at my event? So I reach out to Jack Canfield and I say, can you speak at this event? Like, I make those connections. But all of this is because of doing interviews, putting myself out there. So really, there's time to do this as now. You know, go ahead and jump on it. I highly recommend it. Interview people and share with your audience these amazing people you know. Is there somebody you know that is doing something that's changing the world? Why not share them with your audience? Give your audience an opportunity to meet that person. And also be interviewed by people like me. Yeah, if you want to be interviewed by me, let me know. Okay, so 5 biggest interview mistakes is interviewing without a clear, specific strategy. So you really want to make sure, depending on what you're doing. If you just want to interview people to share them with people, that's awesome, do that. But if you want to interview them to have it generate revenue, you need to be specific. Have a very clear strategy that you're going to do. Another mistake is not providing value. You do want to make sure that your interviews provide value. So whether it's sharing a how to do something, sharing, like I've interviewed, people where we're sharing how to grow their internet and their Facebook, Facebook pages and stuff like that. So lots of things. Putting up unintentionally sloppy videos. So, some of mine have been pretty bad, I gotta admit. I, for one, as Joshua said, I'm me no matter where you meet me. I'm the same person all the time. So yes, some of my videos are sloppy, and you know what? I keep them out there because I don't care. But there are some people who are going to judge me based on that, and you know what? I don't care. But if you're worried about what people are going to think about you, maybe you want to take those off, But if you're not worried about it, leave them on there. Let people see that, oh wow, she doesn't care. That's how I want people to see me. It's not that I don't care. It's not that I don't care. It's just I don't let it affect me, which is a big difference. Like you can not like me, and that's okay. It's not going to affect me. Not starting it right away. Oh gosh, those people that get on there and they're like staring, like, I'm waiting for 15 viewers to come on. Wait a minute, Linda, you're not important. You're only viewer number 3. I'm like, okay, I'm done, I'm out. So make sure that you start right away. Well, really, really, why is that? Is because 95% of your viewers are going to be replay viewers. That means they're seeing you from the very beginning. So they're seeing the stuff you're saying and you're doing at the very beginning of your video. So provide value right out the gate. Do something that's going to share value with them. And then you also want to make sure that your call to action, whatever your call to action, whether it's, hey, share this video out, maybe it's like my page, maybe it's, go ahead and go to Nadira's event, whatever it is, make sure it's very clear that you speak it, and then you also put it up in your description. Because you want people to easily find. You want them to easily find where to spend their money, right? Because if I'm going to spend money on something, if I have to go search for it, I might give up. How many times have you been like, I can't find where to pay. So you're like, I'm out of here, I'll go find someone else. So it's really important to make sure that you share that with people. Because these are the 9 steps to conducting interviews that convert. Again, you want to be very strategic with your video interviews. You want to build a relationship. So, for example, before I asked Jack to interview him, I ended up having an opportunity to take him to lunch, and so I did, and I got to know him on a personal level. So now I'm able to reach out to him by phone and talk to him and actually build a relationship. So it's about building relationships with people. Everything is, right? In business, in life, it's all about these relationships. So basically, I could probably just call Joshua and say, hey Joshua, can I be interviewed on your show? I got something I'm promoting here, and he'd be like, yes. Because the relationship we've built with each other. So really, relationships are important with anything. And then you want to actually reach out. I've actually created a bunch of email templates that I give to my clients, that these email templates that you can basically, just fill in the blank, and be able to get these people to be on your show, to be interviewed. They work like 90% of the time. It's really amazing. Gotcha. And then get their links before the interview. So I've had this happen where somebody I reached out to, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna be on your show, and then they're like Tuesday at 10, and then it gets to Monday and I still don't have their bio, I don't have their picture, I don't have any links. It gets to Tuesday morning, I'm like, are you gonna send me the stuff? Like, I can't advertise you if I don't have your stuff. So what I ended up doing is pushing their interview out a couple weeks. I said, I get your stuff, I'll put you on my show. So make sure that you have control, like even if you're like a fangirl, I'm fangirl over some people, even if you're, or fanboy, but if you're a fangirl or fanboy over somebody, don't let them control it. You're in control, it's your show, you're sharing them with your audience. I only have a couple minutes left, so I'm gonna run through these. So make sure you do conduct those interviews. I would conduct them live, because when you're live, you have audience participation, which is always a lot of fun, because then your interviewee gets to answer their questions live. So that's a lot of fun. Ask your audience to share your video. So depending on who I'm interviewing, let's say for example, one of the persons I interviewed recently has a program called Repurpose that I wanted to show here, right here. Repurpose, if you go to livinglive.tv/repurpose, what this will do is, like all the videos that I do live streaming, and they immediately automatically go over to my YouTube channel. I don't have to touch them at all. And they get repurposed there. But then also it goes to podcasts, There's a lot of different places that Repurpose goes. So anyway, I was interviewing him, and I said, if you're a person who does interviews, a person who does blogs, a person who does podcasts, and you're interested in Repurpose, you don't want to go here, but also share this video to your friends who might be interested in that. So you tell people what to do, because when we tell them what to do, they're more likely to actually do it. Except those obstinate people. And sometimes I'm one of those. I'm like, I ain't sharing this, because they told me to. But anyway, interview styles would be live video interviews, pre-recorded video interviews, pre-recorded podcast interviews, and then using your time effectively. You want to make sure you build your brand. So whatever your brand is, like mine is Sunshine, right? So it's like being sunshiny, happy, go lucky, and all this stuff. And so my brand, that's part of my brand. So make sure you build that brand out, repurpose your videos, creating a lead generation machine. So how are you going to generate leads to you? Well, this is through building your brand, connecting with your audience, and do what brings you the most joy. So there might be, one of the panelists said something, it was very interesting, I wrote it down, and it was something about, they said to follow your passion, the money will come. But is that always true? I don't know, not always. But a lot of times, so you can do it as your passion project, but maybe your passion project ends up turning into something where you're making money. The interviews, I do this, it's not to make money, it's because I love it. Last year though, I was telling Misha, is that last year I made $23,000 in extra money by conducting interviews, by having an affiliate program. So a person I interview has an affiliate program, I'm signed on their affiliate program, somebody clicks on that link, and they make money and I make money. And the client is happy because they got what they wanted. So I make $23,000 and I didn't even try. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was like, okay, well, we'll just put this link out there. So the thing is if I became more strategic and if this is what I wanted to do as my money maker, I could make a lot more money. But I'm not putting any effort into it. I'm doing what I love, which is just conducting the interviews. But get this, 2 years from now, I could say, you know what? I have all those amazing interviews with all those affiliate links out there, and I can start pushing Facebook ads to those. So I can make money off of the interviews I conducted last year at a later date. Is that my timer? Ding, ding dong. Okay, so I know you held the 5 minutes up a little while ago. So solve problems for one client. Make sure you know who it is that you want to work with. Ideal client. I used to hear the target market. You have a target market. And I had this target market. My target market was grumpy people who were working a job who didn't know how to get out. And they had all kinds of excuses as to why they didn't want to get out of their job. But I realized that I don't want to work with grumpy people who have a whole bunch of excuses as to why they don't want to get out of their job. And so I changed it to people who are working in a job who are already have a side hustle. They just don't know the steps to take to leave their job. And I realized that's who I want to work with, people who are action takers already, who are not excuse makers. And so that's who I started working with. And once I got clear on who that was, I started attracting those people. You can target your people with Facebook ads. And I think I'm just going to end it right there because my time is up and I do not want to go over. I don't want to be one of those speakers. But I have a lot more to share with you guys. I mean, I could talk a lot faster. I could have talked a lot faster if I wanted to. But the thing about conducting interviews, making money at it. So there's a couple ways you can do that. One way is I actually charge people to be on my show. So if you're a person who wants to be on my show but doesn't have an affiliate program, I charge. And so you can pay me to be on my show. And then any money that comes in, you make the money. Or we can do an affiliate program where any product or service that you have, when I interview you on my show, we've agreed on a percentage. And I will tell you that most online programs, there's 50%, it's up to 50% that you can make of somebody's affiliate program. So anywhere from 20 to 50%. So I will interview people who have an affiliate program, and then it's on me. The job is on me to push this out as often as possible so that I can make money off of that interview. See, so there's different ways that you can make money conducting interviews. I just urge you to do it. I urge you even to just interview people just because they're so amazing and you want to share them with the world. If no other reason than that, I urge you to do that. So my name is Linda West, and thanks for being here. You got an affiliate program?
That was great, thank you. I love what you said about the people, like Facebook Live, you know how everyone waits, like I'm gonna wait. Some people are drinking their coffee and acting like they're not on Facebook Live. It's like, for the love of God already, just hurry. I started playing music because I couldn't handle it.
Yes, you do, yeah.
And that I get nervous before every time I do a Facebook Live, I'm nervous. I play music, so I start dancing, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I forgot I'm about to do a live. But there's something else I want to add to what you were saying, and like, the red carpet stuff would not have ever happened had you not been doing lives, or the Facebook stuff. The same way with me. I had this silly dream, I don't even like movies, but I had this silly dream of hosting the Emmys. Like I just wanted to be the host for some reason. I think it's because it's the toughest room, and you notice by now how I like to pick on people. That would have been fun for me, but I never would have emceed or been on any stage had I not started doing a Facebook Live. Like I didn't know it was possible. So it's really, really amazing, like taking that step and taking that leap, what it'll open up for you. Because then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and there's opportunities to move, to travel, to get brand ambassadorships, whatever. So, like, if you have that urge and you have that message that you want to get out, don't worry about all the details because they'll come. Like, it really will sort itself out. And failures involved, goofing up, flubbing, not being perfect, but who cares? Perfect's boring. Because I shared this yesterday. All of you have a message that you want, that needs to be heard by somebody. But maybe you have that desire deep down to get your message heard and broadcast it out. Step into that fear, and I'm picking on you, man. You got a message, and like, let it out. You don't know the doors that will open because it's a big world, and these platforms create endless opportunities. Like just some of them you'll never expect. So amazing job, Linda. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so now we have another panel. The family vlog, is this correct? Oh wow, very cool. Do I get to ask parenting questions, or is there a... You shook your head. Oh, what? You wouldn't take parenting advice from me?
I hope you like that.
Oh, you may be surprised.